Hey, it is Kay Corinne with Mentoring Matters. So I'm trying to just start going with it. Like, I have a lot of thoughts that I just don't put out there because, again, I bought this backdrop and this chair, and I'm like, I gotta get home and do it in front of my backdrop and slick my edges. But inspiration needs to be fed, and the way that we feed it is by putting it out there, and then the next thing will come. Like Maya Angelou said, creativity cannot be used up. So literally, when I plan to do a video, I'm not harnessing the creativity. I'm not gonna do it, and if I do it, I won't remember all the corresponding thoughts that I had when I first planned to do it. So even if I take a note right now, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this video, when I do the video, you're not gonna get the fullness of what I intended. And I'm always messing up because I tend to look at myself, but I think I'm supposed to look at the camera. You all know this is one of my struggles as an elder millennial. So it is important to be okay with uncertainty, because nothing actually is certain. For example, I have left a job for another job, so left with another job in mind, got there and hated it and ended up quitting. So even though I had this elaborate plan to not have any break in income, I literally, after maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, was like, oh, this is not it. This was a mistake. I won't say I should have stayed where I was, because that wasn't the place for me anymore. But it was, what would have been a difference between stepping out on faith and leaving that job because it wasn't for me, and creating more space to create and let the... See, because I work well under pressure, so it's also just kind of knowing yourself. I work well under pressure. I'm very resourceful. I'm a creative. So sometimes it takes a certain set of circumstances for me to flourish. Sometimes I can't be too comfortable, and I know that about myself. So there have been times where I had a nice little stretch at one job and everything was going great, but then there are periods in my life where there was some job hopping. And you would think that like job hopping is for younger people, but here I am, 38, definitely going through a season of job hopping for sure. So but the message is, you gotta kind of be comfortable, for one, being uncomfortable, and for two, not being all the way secure, because full security is, as many people have said, it's an illusion. You can be super secure and... Is it still going? Okay. My phone about to die. You could be super secure and lose your job. You know, your position can literally be phased out, and it could take you a year to find something comparable. You could be making close to 6 figures and literally end up driving Uber until you figure out your next move. Like, that is a super reality. And I'm not advocating for people quitting their jobs and being irresponsible or anything like that, because there's a season for everything. You have to know what season you're in. You have to know what kind of calling is on your life. You have to have a lot of self-awareness. And you have to admittedly know you're still on a journey. You're never going to know it all. You're never going to have it all figured out. And you do have to come to a place where you're comfortable with that, with the twists and the turns and the weavings of life, right? But get comfortable being uncomfortable. And sometimes people call a lack of comfort or a lack of stepping into the delusion of security, because again, security is a delusion. Sometimes people will call that confusion, and people hate to be confused. People hate to be uncertain. Like, even if you think something terrible is going to happen, being sure that that terrible thing will happen keeps you comfortable, still keeps you secure. We have a fear of the unknown, for sure. And we are living in an age of like super high anxiety and depression and PTSD in certain situations. And so we're quickly made fearful. It doesn't take much to scare us. Doesn't take much for us to hit that panic button. And like Deepak Chopra teaches, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly because I've only seen it in writing. I've purchased and read several of his books. You get yourself all worked out because you just think everything is gonna not work out because you don't know what's going to work out. And then it all works out. You see what I'm saying? Like that, all that negative energy that's sitting in your gut, literally it causes cancer. Literally, you are going to start to physically manifest all these crazy thoughts and wild ideas that are still fear-based. It's coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of uncertainty, which makes you feel confused. But if you've ever had the perfect family situation, the perfect home, the perfect house, the perfect car, you know one of those things went wrong in some capacity, even if you were able to recover it. So I think that the intention is that we are more led by our intuition and more led by faith, both of those things. Forgive me, I got an email. But yes, I just want to encourage everyone to not be afraid of the unknown. Be all right with stepping out on faith. Tap into your intuition. Make sure that you are doing things that draw on your purpose and your creativity, and that you are experiencing big picture thinking. Yes, the details are important, but also set your sights high. Believe that the best possible outcome is going to come to fruition, because it will. Still be generous with others. I hate the term free-spirited, but despite all the highs and lows, I'm living a good life. I'm happy. I am fulfilled. And when I'm not fulfilled, I start maneuvering in a different way so that I can be fulfilled. I don't stay in dead-end relationships. I don't stay in dead-end jobs. I don't stay in dead-end associations. Like everything has to be growing. And part of growing is the unknown, because when something is growing, you don't know which shape it will take. If you have houseplants, you'd be like, I did not know that was going to do that. The growth is unpredictable. You never know how often you'll have to repot that plant. How many branches, additional vines will come off of that plant. You never know the needs and sometimes the needs of a plant changes as it gets bigger. You're like, man, I was watering this at these times. Now that's too much water. I actually need to water this plant less now. This plant's needs have changed. This plant needs less light now or more light now. Like, it's just an ever changing process, and we have to be comfortable with the discomfort. We have to be okay with not knowing everything that's going to happen, because if you knew everything that was going to happen, this 80 years that we have on planet Earth would be benign. It would be dry. I know we all want this utopia of just life is perfect every day, all day. Everything is swayed in our favor, and things are swayed in our favor even when we can't tell. Something happened to me that was a huge blessing just from a link somebody sent me. I ended up getting some money, a few $1,000s from just the link someone sent me. It wasn't a scam or anything. It was something legitimate from something that took place back in June. Wasn't even on my radar, but I attracted that because the person that sent me the link filled out the same form and did not get the money, and they are the sender of the link, and then they sent it to someone else who did not get it. So it's just, I believe in favor. I believe in blessings. I believe that we get everything that we are supposed to get, so we never have to be fearful. I'm not saying don't work hard, because I am definitely at grind time. I definitely have a strong work ethic, but I'm going to work towards things that I'm passionate about. I don't just work for money. I work for things that have meaning to me, that make me feel fulfilled and impactful, and that my gifts are not being squandered. So it matters to me where that work is being distributed. But I have a strong work ethic, so I'm not just saying quit your job, start free flowing through life, become a nomad and a bum. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that those of us who are really astute and those of us who are hardworking and dedicated and organized and detail oriented. I have a master's degree in educational leadership and administration. Those of us who have high ambitions, there are times that we don't know the next move to make. We don't know what's coming around that corner. And in that, we become uncomfortable and sad and depressed. And we start suffering from anxiety from things that haven't even happened yet and may never happen. So I just want to put that word out there. Be encouraged. You don't have to know what's going to happen to know that everything is going to be okay and that things always work out in the favor, whether long term or short term, of those who are walking through this world open-hearted, giving, generous, honest, purpose-driven, wanting to see the best for not only yourself but for others. People who refuse to embrace jealousy and negativity. People who operate from transparent spaces, being genuine, being loving, being understanding, being empathetic, and still working your ass off on the appropriate things. All right, I'm done. Mentoring matters.